Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is our Manchester United versus Brighton player rating show. I've watched both Mourinho interviews now, both the immediate post-match and the one he gave in the sort of press conference scenario, and I wouldn't say my opinions have changed, but I do agree with him on a few things, i.e. he's clearly spent a lot of time training over the last few days trying to get us moved between the lines. And really interestingly, Luke Shaw subbed at half-time for tactical reasons, not doing what Mourinho wanted him to do, i.e. we've got the yellow pen here. He wanted both his fullbacks to be bombing on. But interestingly, what he said is Valencia didn't do it either. It wasn't just Luke Shaw. He couldn't sub both of them because to use two substitutions at half-time would have been a risk, obviously, you know, if it's extra time and that. So he just took Shaw off and not Valencia, but sharing the load there. But it doesn't mean it's not the end of Shaw. I think it probably is. Anyway, goalkeeper Romero. I'm going to give Romero a 7. I thought the saves that he made were pretty, not routine. Some of them were very good. Arguably one of our better players. Valencia gets a 5. I think Mourinho's spot on with him. I don't think he did a lot. I think there was a lot of sideways passing. Didn't really, you know, you're playing a team like Brighton who parked the bus. Effectively, they parked the bus and hit us on the break. And what you want is your fullbacks bombing on. And to be fair, you know what? I didn't think Luke Shaw played terrible, but they didn't bomb on enough. They didn't bomb enough. That's totally fine. Don't ever do that again. It gets rid of the numbers. Note to self. Bailly and Smalling. I'm gonna give them both a 6. I don't think they were really under a hell of a lot of pressure. Brighton still had a few chances. I don't think they were fantastic. I don't think they were that poor. Luke Shaw for me, I would not have given him a 5. I wouldn't have given him a 5. But technically, I think Mourinho's right. He didn't bomb on enough, so he has to have the 5 because he clearly didn't do what the manager wanted him to do. I didn't think it was a terrible performance. Some people did, but for me, I didn't think Luke Shaw was that bad. But having listened to what Mourinho said, I actually agree that Luke Shaw didn't do what he was meant to do, and neither did Valencia, so that's why they get a 5 for me. I'm also going to give a 5 to Ashley Young. I know he got the assist, but I didn't see anything from Ashley Young in the second half that Luke Shaw did in the first half. There was no difference. If Ashley Young was meant to bomb on, I didn't really see him doing that. The set piece was good. He's got a good delivery. That got him an assist. It's not enough to give him a 6 out of 10 for me. Matic, I think, is quite comfortably man of the match, and an 8, goal and an assist, and you know, a good performance in the midfield. Now, interestingly, Jose Mourinho. Something in my mouth. Jose Mourinho said that that was Scott McTominay's worst performance, but when he was talking about players who lack desire, who lack class and personality, he said that was Scott McTominay's worst performance in a Manchester United shirt, but he wasn't one of the players who lacked personality and everything like that, because he actually is a Manchester United player who kept going. But he said, I took him aside after the game and I told him it was his worst game, but I did it in a positive light because he still had personality and fight. And for me, this is Mourinho's Achilles heel. This is his Fellaini heel, as I call it, because it doesn't matter if someone plays badly. If they play badly and they try hard, then they're a Manchester United player. But if they're one of the best players on the pitch, but they don't try hard, they're not a Manchester United player. I think the truth is somewhere in between. But also, I'm actually going to disagree with Mourinho, because I don't think that was Scott McTominay's worst performance at all. Crystal Palace first half was worse. Chelsea first half was worse. I don't think McTominay was terrible at all. I thought he kept trying to play forward passes, and he certainly wasn't one of the worst players on the pitch for me. So I'd give McTominay a steady 6. I didn't think it was a bad performance from him. I really didn't. Mata, Lingard and Martial. Now, whether he's talking about any of those players as being players who lack personality, desire and class, look, I can only give my opinion, you can only give yours. Maybe, as Mohammed says, he's talking about Pogba. But it's... Sure, we'll go, says Lucas Taylor. I agree with that. I think he probably... And somebody else just said there, I think Eric Mourinho said, Luke Shaw probably wants to go. I think you're probably right. I think he probably does want to go, to be honest. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we? It's all right, Mourinho, to keep taking a public pop at these players. That is his right. But we need to look at the other side of the coin now. What if these players are like, yeah, I want to play for Manchester United. I want to play for the fans. I want to play at this great ground. I don't want to play under Mourinho. He's obsessive. He's a dictator. And he doesn't play attacking football. They might start thinking that. I don't know. Performance-wise, out of these three, if Mourinho... A lot of people will say he's talking about Martial when he talks about lack of class, desire, personality, going hiding. I actually thought Martial gets a 7 from me today, because I didn't see him go hiding. He always wanted the ball. There were some good interchanges between him and Mata. I felt that the ball wasn't coming forward quick enough, and I think Mourinho's right. The overlapping, certainly from Shaw and Young, didn't help Martial because they didn't do it. And I think from Mata, he didn't get much overlapping from Valencia either. So I actually thought Mata and Martial played quite well. I'm going to give them both a 7. I really genuinely don't think they had a bad performance. I think they could have done a little bit more, but I certainly don't think they had bad performances. And I won't fall into Mourinho's trap with that one. I don't think there was a lack of desire, class, or passion for the shirt. I really didn't see that. I think things didn't come off for Mata and Martial, but they never stopped wanting the ball. Mata's never stopped wanting the ball in his whole career. And Martial, if you actually watch that game, Martial kept coming for the ball, and also he kept pushing people forward. I saw him 3 or 4 times trying to get people to press forward. Now, he's probably talking about Luke Shaw, but I think he was also talking at Lingard as well. But I saw Martial distinctively 3 or 4 times in that game shouting at people, pushing them forward. Is that a lack of desire? Is that a lack of passion? And Mata was doing the same. So, there we go. Why can't we have Mata central, says Michael Hubbard? Well, it comes to my next point. I'm going to give Jesse Lingard a 4. I thought he was the worst player on the pitch. It's not a witch hunt or anything like that. I tweeted jokingly off my account, is Lingard actually on the pitch in the second half? I thought it was an anonymous performance, much the same as it was against Sevilla. And I think the problem with Lingard is, and you know, Mourinho's got every right to criticise some of his players. I agree with a lot of what Mourinho said after the game, but he's also got to look again, a bit like on Tuesday, playing Sanchez on the left when he was doing rubbish, playing Rashford on the right when he's good on the left, playing Lingard as a number 10 when he's not a good number 10, playing Fellaini and benching McTominay and Pogba. Mourinho's got to look at his own selections. If he's going to be critical of the players, which is fine, he's also got to look at his own selections. I think Lingard as a number 10 against Sevilla was a disaster, and I think again tonight it was a disaster. Lingard, he's just got no creativity. He's got no intricacy in his passing. He's got no guile. He likes to play sideways. He's a good right winger. He's good when he turns and run at people and get a shot, but he's not a number 10, and that is reflected not really in his effort levels. But I think if Mourinho was talking about someone going missing, going hiding, wanting to be subbed, I think he's talking about Lingard. I mean, he's probably talking about Martial or Mata, but I actually think he's talking about Lingard. That's what I interpret it, because that performance from him today lacked desire, lacked passion, lacked class. And it felt like he was going hiding a bit. For a number 10, you can't have an anonymous performance like that. Lukaku, lots of effort, but I'm going to give him a 6. Really didn't get into the game apart from the header. But if you give Lukaku chances, he scores goals. And he did that tonight. But apart from that, very, very quiet game from Lukaku. Lots of effort, which is what you get. And another thing, I've just seen somebody having a pop at Martial there, like lack of desire. Are we blind to all the facts that he was pushing the team on? Are we blind to the fact that he was always coming to get the ball? Are we blind to the fact when he tried to have a fight with the Brighton player? I saw a lot of passion and a lot of fight and a lot of desire from Martial today. I didn't see much from Lingard, but who Mourinho's talking about is always going to be open to interpretation. But you know, I can only give what I saw with my eyes, and I saw not a fantastic performance from Martial and Mata, but I mean that brilliant bit of 1-2 play that deserved the goal in the first half. Always wanting the ball, that's not going hiding. Or, you know, pushing the team forward to press, that's not a lack of desire. Intricate little 1-2s and good bits of passing, that's not a lack of class. So if Mourinho is indirectly talking about Martial and Mata, I'm not falling into the trap if that's part of his idea to try and make us turn against those players so he can sell them in the summer. I don't want either of those two to go. I thought they played really well. I thought Lingard had a bad performance and shouldn't be playing at number 10. And I do agree with Mourinho on the fullbacks, having listened to what he said, that both of them were meant to bomb forward. He couldn't take both off, so he took Shaw off. I mean, to be honest, you can't really take Valencia off anyway, because who comes on at right back? So, yeah, I think that was good points and bad points from Mourinho after a few minutes of reflection. But that's what I feel about the teams. I think the player rating show works better if it's done live. I've done it as a pre-record, but we've got the fan cams up. 2 are up. I'm going to put the rest up now. So click the eye in the top right hand corner. We've got 2 fan cams up. Without giving too much away, one of them very, 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 very angry with Luke Shaw. The other one happy with the result, not good enough for Mourinho. So 2 good ones. Give them a watch, and while you're watching those, I'll get another couple up for you. So thanks everyone for watching. That's your player rating show. Give us your thoughts below. The only thing I would say is I think a lot of what Mourinho said made sense to me, actually, when you take the time to listen to it. But Lingard was the one for me. I think, I don't know whether he's talking about him, but Lingard, Shaw, and Valencia would be the 3 players who seemed to go missing and hiding and didn't do what we were told to do. I think everybody else, I don't necessarily agree with him about McTominay. I don't think. What do you think? I didn't think McTominay was that bad, and I certainly didn't see a lack of fight or desire or going hiding from Martial. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's easy for us to think Mourinho's talking about him, and potentially is, but actually the evidence there. I mean, it wasn't vintage Martial because things didn't come off, but the effort and desire and wanting the ball was constant throughout the whole game. So I disagree with that. I do. Anyway, thanks everyone. I'll speak to you all soon. Back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, but fan cams are up. So go and watch the first 2, and there'll be another one going up in about 10 minutes. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.